Commissioner, head of audit at the LTO, and of course, a face that's very, very, very popular here in our studios. This year, Dennis, have you come here this year?
Well, I've been here.
Oh, you've been here?
Once.
For the big issue. Oh, yes, it's true. And I remember you were here for the 9 lessons as well.
I spoke prophecies.
Yes. Dennis Miracles Abuaje, well, he's the former MC for Equiapim North, but currently a presidential staffer responsible for local government and decentralization. They are here, both gentlemen, to enrich our conversation this morning. So I'm wondering who will take the very first question about this collaboration between government and the GRA, or let me say the MMDAs and the GRA. This collaboration or this marriage, how is it faring? How is it going? I think I should come to you, sir, for that
Thank
one.
you very much.
You're very welcome.
I want to clear that, misconception that people had.
Okay.
The law that established the Ghana Revenue Authority, that's the Ghana Revenue Authority Act 2009, Act 791, as part of our functions, that is in particular Section 3, subsection E, says that we are supposed to advise the district assemblies on the assessment and collection of their revenue.
Okay.
So it is clearly within the mandate of the GRA.
GRA. So this is not outside your jurisdiction at all?
It is in the law. And I've made reference to the law. Anybody who wants can go and refer. It was passed by an act of parliament at February 2009. That as part of our functions, we are supposed to advise the district assemblies on the assessment and the collection of taxes. It is on this basis that we decided to have that collaboration. And just as you have said, the purpose is to enable the assemblies to maximize the revenues that they are supposed to collect in terms of property taxes. So what has been done so far is that we have set up a data platform to assist the district assemblies to be able to collect this revenue. The GRA, in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, and the Land Valuation Board, have so far identified all properties in the country. In addition to that, we have so far been able to put values to properties in about 76 MMDAs, which are ready for the property rate to be applied. So it has already started, and I think we are on course on this assignment.
I see. I wish it was the big issue so that we have time to expand. We don't have too much time.
That's okay.
Into Dennis today. Keep it very short for us. In your view, I mean, you have been an MC before. Is this marriage working between the two entities?
Cookie, I think I would take it from actually what the basis for this. You know, the local assemblies have some 18 services they're supposed to render.
Right.
Education, health, water. There are certain things that you're supposed to do, sanitation and all of that. Now, these things require resources. And so the law actually prescribes certain revenue heads that are left for the local governments to collect. And central government shouldn't go near those ones.
Right.
But over the period, it's become obvious that the collection of some of these revenue heads has become difficult. So property rates is supposed to be one of the mainstays of the revenue base for the assemblies, but it's quite expensive to collect, and it's why it requires certain technical capacity to be able to do it.
That you don't have at the moment.
That at the moment we don't have.
Okay.
And so if you go into the law that set up the local government, it gives them room to actually appoint third parties to provide support for them in terms of collection of revenue. And so before the GRA arrangement, a lot of these local governments have private institutions, private entities to help them. Some have 3, some have 4, but we realized there was a challenge. The challenge was that you can't just get up and go and collect property rates. You must do some property identification, do some valuation, you know, a lot of things involved, and those are the expensive rates. And those are the things that the private people engaged by these local governments are unable to fund to be able to take off. So if you look at how much we've been collecting, it's woefully inadequate. Okay, it's woefully inadequate. Look at an assembly like KMA, AMA, collecting just about 2 million. It's not even up to 20%. In fact, before we came into this GRA arrangement, we did an assessment of the period between 2010 and 2020 to look at how property rate is faring. And it was quite obvious that we're not doing even more than 20%. Some of them are doing 11% of the total IGF that they are raising. Look at Ayers West, East Legon area, coming to
all
Julu,
the properties over there.
you know, all the properties there, you know. So GRA is not going in to sort of take the mandate away from the local government.
Okay.
But GRA is supposed to do some hand-holding, call it hand-holding.
Right.
You know, it's all part of capacity building.
Okay.
Lead the process, help in property identification, help in the property valuation, help in billing, help in collection, which will lead to maximizing the resources of the assemblies. Then eventually, if you look at the policy, the 2022 budget policy, there is a certain review date there. I think it's about 5 years.
Okay.
After the 5 years, the policy said there will be a review.
Right.
At that point, when we go into the review and we feel that, okay, the assemblies now have the capacity to be able to do these things all by themselves without hand-holding technical assistance from the GRA, then they can do that. And so it's important that we clarify that. And we are quite optimistic that it's going to be a very good, you know, relationship, collaboration, especially for the local government.
When did this collaboration start, though? Because it started, I mean, talk started somewhere last year around June. So when did this marriage start? Has it been officially instituted?
Yes, I can say that it has been officially instituted.
Okay.
Like I've told you, we have already done that collaboration.
Right.
And the property identification has already been done. Valuation has already been done in about 76 MMDAs already.
Okay.
The app, that is the myassembly.gov.gh.
It's active?
Yes,
it's active.
It's active.
Okay.
I mean, it's on now and it's running.
What's the use of that app? Who's supposed to benefit from it? Taxpayers?
Yeah, taxpayers. So what is there is that this is the app or the platform that enables property owners or ratepayers to be able to register their properties and then be able to pay their taxes. Actually, it is an online platform.
Okay.
And like Dennis have said, GRA, based on its track record as a revenue institution, has the capacity or the expertise, and then we are bringing this on board. So it makes it easy in that you can go in, register your properties, you'll be able to know your bill in terms of how much rate you are supposed to pay, and then you can also pay online. One good thing is that this app is linked to the Ghana.gov platform. So it's part of the general digitalization process of the government to make sure that we provide an easy way of doing business with the government. So you don't need to walk to the assemblies in person at the comfort of your home. You can easily log onto this platform. Yes, good.
Yes, so I just tried to open it up on my phone to actually see if it's active,
right.
and
that's
I think
right.
it is.
Active.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So it's active. So I can say that it's already running. Yeah, so it's already on course.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so tell me, will ratepayers, apart from this app that you have brought out, be able to still pay cash?
No. We don't want to encourage people to still pay cash, or else we'll be going back to the same
system
deficiency that we have identified. So we want to discourage a system of people handling cash. So even where you have been assessed and you're supposed to pay, you are supposed to pay through the platform, and we don't accept physical cash. So nobody is allowed to collect cash.
So this is strictly the platform where all transactions are carried out.
You can however pay either using Momo or direct bank transfer or checks, but that will be written in the name of the assembly.gov, and the money goes straight into the system. So we don't want people to be collecting cash again. So nobody will be allowed to go and collect money, physical cash, and say that, okay, I'm collecting a property rate.
But I'm just a little concerned, Dennis. You know, these property rates, like you rightly mentioned, I mean, MMDAs, these are the district local assemblies, where sometimes not all of the people who are there or who live there are literate or are even tech savvy. Is there anybody who's taking locals through any training to be able to navigate their way through this app or anything? Do you have any idea at all?
Yes, I mean, one of the things that the GRA is working at, which they've assured us they will do, is there would even be POS machines that, I mean, collectors will come to your doorstep with a POS machine. So that, you know, these days with the POS, you just mention your phone number, I enter it, and then you get a pop-up, and then you pay
through Momo.
And all of that. So that will be done. So it means that even if you don't have the capacity to go through a certain USSD code.
Right.
Collectors will come to you with the POS. But the key thing is that you should be expecting an electronic receipt.
Okay.
That is very crucial.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because I mean, I was MC, and I can tell you, I have revenue collectors who built mansions of the assemblies, the assemblies revenue and all of that.
Wow.
But Cookie, let me quickly also clarify this, because it's a very important point. The government has not centralized property rate collection.
Okay.
This arrangement is only being facilitated by government.
Okay.
But the memorandum of understanding and every arrangement is between the GRA and the local assemblies individually. Okay. And the revenue collected, it doesn't come to central government before it goes to the assemblies. Okay. The Ghana.gov, as you say it, has been set up with the account details of the assemblies. So once revenue is collected within your jurisdiction, let's say Ayawaso West, it goes into your account. It doesn't come to central government before it's transferred to you. Okay. I think that is a very important point for us to clarify. A lot of people have raised concerns that government is trying to centralize revenue, and that is not the case. What we are trying to do is to get GRA with all the experience, exposure in collecting revenue within our social, cultural environment to aid these assemblies to maximize their revenue. You'll be surprised that when we look at the number of properties identified so far, it's over 8 million, a little over 8 million. Now, if you apply even 200 Ghana cedis, this morning I was, if you do 200 Ghana cedis for every property identified now through the national digital addressing system, that's about 1.775 billion. Cookie, if you make it 300 cedis, that's about 2.66 billion. Right. Now, if you make it even 400 cedis, that's about 3.5 billion.
There's a lot of revenue to be collected.
And yet, in the last 10 years, when we did the analysis, we realized that between 2010 and 2020, all assemblies in Ghana put together collected only 529 million. 10 years.
There isn't too much
time. So it tells
you
how crucial it is for GRA to really
there isn't
work
too
with
much time. But we're excited about this collaboration. What we'll do is we will all keep an eye on it. Maybe after 6 months or maybe after a year, we'll sit down to have another conversation to look at how far we have come, how much we've been able to generate with this collaboration. I'm so sorry that I had to cut the conversation short, but I'm sure the message has gone out there. You want to say something before we go quickly?
Well, I just want to encourage all property owners to take advantage of this and then make sure that they register their properties and pay. I mean, that is one way of showing that we are good citizens. That's all that I want to say.
Dr. Martin Colbill Yambrogia is my guest. He's the Assistant Commissioner, Head of Audit LTO, and of course, Dennis Miracles Abuaje, former MCE for Ikuapem North, and he's a presidential staffer responsible for local government and decentralization. Another time, another chance, we'll expatiate more on this collaboration between government and the GRA. This is still TV3 New Day. We'll be back with more.